Howdy. Elimination. Day 2. Let's do this. Okay. Day 1. Our whole goal was to have opposite coefficients when you eliminate. And that day 1, we had opposite coefficients for everything, right? We worked down something already eliminated, which means you had same term, opposite signs, okay? Well, what happens when you don't have opposite coefficients? Well, that is today and tomorrow. You are going to make opposite coefficients. And that's the whole point of what we're doing today. And the way that you do that is by multiplying one equation. So here we go. 4.3, day 2, elimination, multiply one equation. The great part is, if I go too fast, just hit pause. Here we go. Our goal is still the same. And the goal is the same no matter what we do in elimination, no matter how many days we spend on it. So your goal is to have, and yes, I want you to write this down, to have opposite coefficients. Okay, that part doesn't change. So what you're looking for is the same term with different signs. That's what you're really looking for. Okay. So yesterday when we worked on this, well, whatever, Monday, yesterday you already had things that eliminate. They do not eliminate today, but we still start with this question every single problem. So here we go, and that's a blue bubble. Even though I know you wrote it down, you're gonna write it again tomorrow. Oh well. Example 1, here we go. Solve by elimination. Which problem do I want to start with? Okay, here we go. 3x plus y equals 11, and 6x plus 3y equals 24. All right, here we go. You always start with the goal. Do I have opposite coefficients? And the answer is no, okay? You said yes to every single question that you did on Monday. Today, you do not have opposite coefficients. So it means you make them, okay? What you look for are factors, okay? Remember, we are still working down with each term, with each set of like terms, if you want to say that. Here's what I do. Is 3 a factor of 6? Yes, it is, okay? Is, what's here? Rude one. Is 1 a factor of 3? Yes, it is. So what does that mean when you say yes? That means you have a choice on which variable you want to eliminate. You could either eliminate x or you could eliminate y. It really doesn't matter. But the thing is, on both of these, you do not have opposites. So you have to make the opposite and you have to make the coefficient part. Not all problems are going to be that way. Sometimes they'll give you opposite signs, and then you just have to make the coefficient part. But this one, you've got to do both of these guys. And I wish I had you guys here telling me what to do, so that you could tell me if you want to eliminate x or eliminate y. I'm going to go y. Okay, so everything gets multiplied. Now, if you multiply the top equation just by 3, you would have 3y and 3y. Those are not opposites, so you have to make sure you multiply by multiply in order to get the opposite, which means a -3. Okay, so the entire equation is going to increase 3 times, and of course it's going to be negative. So multiply everything out, so you have -9x minus 3y equals, and don't forget this guy. This is the one that kids tend to forget about, -33. So I just multiply that out, and because I like to work down and keep it nice and neat, I'm going to rewrite the other equation underneath, because you don't ever want to do math working up. You want to do it working down. There we go. And at this point, you could see if you multiplied correctly. If you get back down to Monday's assignment with opposite coefficients, then you know you multiplied correct. So kind of like substitution, you know you substituted correctly. When you have 2 of the same variable, you know you multiplied correctly if you get something that eliminates. And once you get something that eliminates, you're back down to Monday's work. So we're good to go. So -3y and 3y get eliminated. Work down. -9x plus 6x is a -3x equals, don't forget these guys over here. You have a -33 plus 24. And with your numbers are going to get bigger, okay? There's nothing wrong with using a calculator, so you know you're correct. Here we go. -33 plus 24. You should have a -9, okay? Do not be ashamed to use the calculator. That's why it's there, to give you these correct answers. Solve for x. Divide by -3. So you have x equals 3. But we're not done solving. Okay? You still have to solve for y. Here's the kick, though. Since we had to multiply one of these equations, you have the original system to choose, but then you also have the one that you multiplied by -3 up here, which means you have 3 choices of equations to plug this x in. And it doesn't matter which one you do, because we will all get the same answer as long as you do your math calculations correct. For me, I like small numbers and least amount of negatives. I'm definitely not going to use that one, because that's just, that's a no for me. This one's not so bad. It's all positive. But up here, I'm going to use the top one. So you go plug in your x into whatever equation you want, because it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go, I did the top one. So I'm substituting my x for 3 in the top. 7, 9 plus 1 equals 11. Go ahead and solve that. You have y equals 2. You can't leave it like this, because remember, your answer is the form of an. I know you answered yourself. There we go. 3, choose your final answer. And you just solved by elimination, where you had to make opposite coefficients by multiplying one equation. This one had more choices than a lot of other problems do. So the next example I'm going to do one where it doesn't have as many choices. So here we go. I'm going to erase this. Just continue on. Let's go. Okay, here we go. 3x plus 2y equals -9. And -10x plus 5y equals -5. Hopefully you can read that. That's a -9, and this is 5y equals -5. Okay, here we go. We always start here. Do I have opposite coefficients? Another way is saying, do I have the same term with different signs? Nope. Nope. We don't care about our neighbor guy. We're only looking for the terms that have our variables. So the answer is no. Shocking. Because that was the other day. So what do you think of as factors? And you always start with the smallest number first, smallest coefficient first. So here we go. Is 3 a factor of 10? Nope. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do this problem. This is tomorrow's problem. Never mind. Scratch that. That was fun. Okay, let's go. Let's go this one. 3x, I apologize. Go erase it. It's not that big of a deal, but I apologize. 3x minus 10y equals -25. And then 4x plus 40y equals 20. I don't have my readers on, so I can't see the problems all that great. My notes. Whatever. Guaranteed we could do this today. The problem that I just wrote up by accident, that's actually going to be for tomorrow. And maybe you noticed something. Maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes you feel like a nut. So here it is. Okay. 3x minus 10y equals -25. And 4x plus 40y equals 20. You always start here. Do I have opposite coefficients? No. No. So what does that mean? You have to make them by multiplying one equation. Here we go. Now you think of factors. Is 3 a factor of 4? No. Now when you think of factors, you're going to think of integers. Okay. Is 10 a factor of 40? Yes, it is. So what that means is you are going to eliminate y. To eliminate x, that's not a choice today, because we're only going to multiply one equation. Okay. So that means we're going to have to multiply to eliminate y. And the great thing is they gave us opposites already. They already gave us a positive and negative, so we don't have to worry about our signs, which is nice. I always like it when they give us opposite signs, so that we don't have to worry about messing with multiply by negative, or wait a minute, am I multiply by negative or multiply by positive? I can't remember. So I like it when they give us the opposite part, because we only have to make the coefficient part. So here we go. What do you multiply 10 by to get 40 is what we're going to ask. Hopefully you said 4. So the whole top equation gets multiplied by 4. We don't have to worry about our signs because it's already opposites. Beautiful. Distribute that. So you have 12x minus 40y equals, don't forget this side over here. This is a common mistake that most kids make. Negative 25 times 4 is negative 100. Okay. Rewrite the other equation underneath. We don't work up, we work down. Okay, so just rewrite this guy under here. 4x plus 40y equals 20. And at this part, if you multiplied correctly, you should have something that eliminates. Do you? Yes, you did. So that means you multiplied correctly. Yay, you. Okay. So now you're back down to what we did on Monday. Just go ahead and solve. So your y's get eliminated. Boom. Work down. Remember when there's no sign, the term is positive because leading terms, if it's positive, they never give you a plus sign. So 12x and 4x is 16x equals negative 120 is negative 80. Okay. Divide by 16 on both sides. X equals negative, what is that, 5, I want to say? 80 divided by 16. Yep, negative 5. Okay. X equals negative 5. You have to find y. Remember, you have the original system and the new equation. So you have 3 choices of equations to pick. It doesn't matter. You pick whatever's going to be easiest for you. Let's see, what do I like? I know which one I'm going to pick. Might surprise you, though. Go ahead, plug your x in to find your y. I picked the second one. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger numbers, but look how pretty this works, because I knew that 4 times negative 5 is a 20, and I'm going to deal with everything that ends in zeros. I like that. But does it matter what I think? No. Put your x and y together. And you just solve the system by multiplying one equation, because you do not have opposite coefficients, so you're going to make them today. Okay. Great thing about these, you can always hit pause instead of me sitting here just sucking up time. All right, let's do another one. I'm going to double check everything first. Ooh, I like this one. 24x plus 2y equals 52. I'm going to tell you why I like it. 6x minus 3y equals negative 36. All right, here we go. Do I have opposite coefficients? No, that's yesterday's work. Here we go. Next thing you ask, factors. Factors. Here we go. Is 6 a factor of 24? Yes. Is 2 a factor of 3? No. So that means that you have to eliminate this. Even though these guys already have opposite signs, that doesn't mean anything for you today, which is unfortunate. That's why I like this problem, because you got to really think about what you're eliminating. Because even though they got the opposites, which that's great, if you eliminated this term, you wouldn't be multiplying one equation. So you're looking for the term you're going to multiply so you can actually eliminate it. Doesn't matter if the signs are there or not. It just helps if they already have opposites. So you have to eliminate your x's, okay? So what do you multiply 6 by to get 24? That would be 4. But you have 2 positives right here, so that means you have to multiply this bottom one by a negative 4. And I'm curious how many of you guys are actually talking out loud during this. If you guys have your headphones on listening, and how you guys are actually answering the questions out loud. I don't know what Miss Monica's saying. Anyways. All right. multiply it out. Negative 24x plus 12y, watch your signs, equals 36 times 4. 36 times 4. Okay, so it's going to be 144. Ooh, we got some big numbers here. That's okay. That's why you want to use your calculator. Rewrite this other one underneath. Do not ever work up. Always work down. Okay. At this part, if you multiply correctly, you should have something that eliminates. And we do. So yay you, pat yourself on the back. There we go. Work down 12y and 2y, 14y, and ooh, 144 and 52. Whoops. 144 plus 52. 196. I like that. Okay. Divide by 14. Is that 13? Oh, it's 14. Oh, duh. 14 squared is 196. I knew that. Okay. Y equals 14. What do you have to solve for? Hopefully said x. Which equation can you pick? Doesn't matter. How many choices? 3. The original and then the new one. Doesn't matter. Plug it in. So the top one has all positives, but kind of big numbers. The second one has 2 negatives, but they're much smaller numbers. The third one is just way bigger. By 4. I don't know. Oh, well, let's go. Let's do this. Go ahead and you solve for your own x. Big numbers. Did you get 1? Okay. Put your x and y together. So is it 14-1 or 114? And does it matter? Yes, it does matter. So on this one, guys, you solve for y first. Be careful on that when you end up solving for y first, because you have to write your ordered pair in the correct order, and x always comes before y. There you go. Okay. So for today, you do not have opposite coefficients. That was the previous day's work. Today you have to make them, and you make them by multiplying one equation to get something that eliminates. Okay. So when you are going through your problems today, you are not going to have opposite coefficients, and there will always be at least one pair of factors. Okay. Sometimes you do have two choices. That very first problem that I did you had choices because both of them were factors. It doesn't matter, okay? Sometimes you only have to multiply by a -1. So let's say you have like a 2x and a 2x, and then the other terms are like, I don't know, 5y and 9y. Well, 2x and 2x, 2 is a factor of 2. You only need to make the opposite part, so you'd multiply by a -1. So that's something also to pay attention to. When you have the same coefficient, you only have to make the opposite by multiplying by a -1. So that's today. Tomorrow, you do not have opposite coefficients. You do not have a pair of factors. So what do you do then? I guess you'll find out. Have a good day. Be excellent to each other.